Hey, what's going on, man? Coach Tyler here with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness. We got a brand new episode of the Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily Show, brought to you by my friends over at the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League. Listen up, college softball players. If you're looking for a summer league, look no further than Fayetteville, North Carolina at the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League. You can check it out. You can register over at cpatriotcl.com. There's going to be thrilling games, competitive matchups. If you're a seasoned veteran looking to hone those skills for next year, or if you're a rookie looking to see what it's going to be like when you play in college, go check it out, go register. And for all you softball fans, make sure you're paying attention over here at the podcast. We're going to give you updates on kind of the scheduling and what's going on over there. And we're going to leave a link for you down below. That's cpatriotcl.com. All right, as we get into today's episode, I kind of want to recap what was going on yesterday. A lot of games kind of moved around. A lot of games were postponed, but we did get some really good action out there in California. We had a big news coming out of Oklahoma, so let's jump right into it today. The Oklahoma Sooners opened up their brand new field, opened up their brand new facility, Loves Field. Man, we all know that Oklahoma is hands down the best team, been the best team for quite a few years. And they were building a new stadium. Well, they finally had a chance to open it up, and there was really no better way than to open it up in a tough game, a tough matchup with Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio came in, scored 3 runs in the first inning, really took the juice out of the stadium. Everybody was kind of waiting for Oklahoma to pop off. Well, that didn't come until the 6th inning, and wouldn't you believe, man, Miami, Ohio answered them back in the top of the 7th, tied that thing up, and now we're going into the bottom of the 7th, tied up 7-7. And here comes Kinsey Hansen. Kinsey Hansen hits a walk-off home run after Riley Boone gets on, and the crowd goes absolutely bonkers, man. It was incredible to watch. It was incredible to see. Oklahoma opens their brand new field, opens their brand new stadium in style with a walk-off win over Miami, Ohio. If you guys haven't checked out that facility, man, it is absolutely state-of-the-art. I'm going to leave a link down below so you guys can go check out all the stuff that's been going on at the brand new facility. Man, they've got a 10,000 square foot practice facility. They've got a 5,000 square foot area for the team. It's like locker rooms and offices and clubhouse and sort of like a dorm area for those girls. There's just so much cool stuff going on. It's like a $1.5 million scoreboard. Man, this place is awesome. So I hope that this is going to be sort of a trend in the game of college softball where more stadiums are getting built, more stadiums are being updated, and kind of putting some money towards the sport because, man, this sport is gaining eyes. It's so popular right now. It gains in popularity, it seems like week after week. So we're going to continue to sort of promote that kind of stuff here on the podcast. I love talking about that stuff because it just shows you how great the game is growing. So Oklahoma gets the win over Miami, Ohio at home, the first game at their brand new facility. So kudos to them. At that place, man, it holds like 4,200 people, but yesterday there was 4,450, so 4,450 were in attendance. So there was a bunch of people standing around. So really cool. Go check that out. I'll leave a link down below for you. In other news around the league, we had a lot of games out in California, a couple of big-time matchups. Georgia gets the dub over California. A great game. If you're looking at the box score, it's not a whole lot of action for those fans that like to see the long ball and that kind of stuff. Georgia jumps out in front early in the bottom of the first and goes up 3-0. And then it was a lot of small ball, a lot of great defense. Only one error committed in that game, and that was by California. You had 8 hits for Georgia. You had 6 hits for Cal. A really good defensive game all around. Pitching-wise, if you look at what Randy Rowling did, she went 6 innings, only gave up 4 earned. That's pretty tough to do against a Georgia offense that is just stacked with long ball hitters. You look at what Georgia brought to the mound. You had Backus and Walters. Both of them combined to give up only 2 walks. They both together they struck out 5. Only gave up 2 earned runs. So big win for Georgia over California. You got Georgia that goes to 14-1 on the year. California sitting at 16-2. So California is definitely no slouch. Other action out there in California. If you look at what UCLA was able to do against Michigan, UCLA playing sort of locally, sort of at home, getting some of that home cooking, had a great game, exploded offensively, really took it to them early on. Defensively, Caitlin Terry pitched an incredible game. She's 3-0 on the year. Pretty short game, only about an hour and 45 minutes, so the game was moving on pretty quickly. UCLA was able to jump out on front early in the first, top of the first, was able to get 2 runs. Later on, Michigan really couldn't get anything going, and then UCLA poured it on, scored 2 in the 5th, and scored 6 in the 6th. So I'll try to say that, 6 in the 6th. Great showing by UCLA, starting to show sort of their true colors, if you will. Another big-time matchup for UCLA was against the number 18 ranked Florida Gators. Florida Gators were able to get that win 1-0. Another great game played by UCLA on the day. The only run that was scored was in that first inning. Florida scored 1 run in the bottom of the first. UCLA was only able to manage 2 hits in that game. Florida was able to come up with 6. Keegan Rothrock pitched the game. Really did well to sort of stymie that offense from UCLA. A really good matchup. You got Taylor Tinsley pitched a great game. Keegan Rothrock pitched a great game. You had Tinsley striking out 7. You had Rothrock striking out 5. All in all, just a great defensive battle. It kind of shows you what both teams can do defensively and in the circle. So UCLA goes sort of 500 on the day, win 1, drop 1. That moves UCLA to 5-9 overall, and that moves Florida, who was the number 13 team in the country, to 18-2 overall. And I'm looking forward to them to start SEC play. I'm going to be honest with you. My girls down at UCF had a tough game yesterday against South Carolina. South Carolina was able to pull out that win 4-2. If you look through the box score just a little bit, not a whole lot going on offensively in that game. But at the end of the day, you've got a powerhouse like South Carolina, and you got a powerhouse like UCF. That both teams are playing good ball. UCF is playing top contenders, and they're right there. They're 50-50 on these games. They win when they lose when they lose when they win, when they go back and forth. A really great day all around for both teams defensively. You've got South Carolina, who's the number 22 ranked team in the country. UCF, in a lot of polls, could be top 25. For me, it's one of my favorite teams to watch at the end of the day. Probably my favorite ball player, probably the best swing in the game, Chloe Evans, went 1 for 3 on the day. At the end of the day, when these teams get into conference play, I think the dust will settle a little bit. South Carolina is going to be battling in the SEC. Number 22 team in the country. Again, I think they're going to beat some teams that a lot of people don't think they should beat. But that's what the SEC is all about. Moving on just a little bit, LSU was able to get a big win over San Diego State 9-1. Florida went on to beat DePaul later on 12-0. The game between Texas A&M and Cal State Fullerton, another great game. Texas A&M was able to get the win 4-1. Alabama picks up a big win over Arizona in a 2-1 game. Really good game overall between the two teams. Pitching staff was great. Alabama is really holding form. Again, 18-0 on the season. Hasn't been beat, but have they played that high caliber team yet? Maybe, maybe not. I know they just won Thursday over Northern Iowa, a 1-0 game. They were able to get that win over Arizona 2-1. So it starts to thicken up a little bit for them. In about a week, they end up playing Florida. Then they play Florida State and then Georgia. So as we talked about yesterday, it starts to get a little bit tougher for the Crimson Tide. But nonetheless, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing right now. You're supposed to beat the teams that are put in front of you. As we move into sort of today's action and tomorrow's action, Saturday's action, there's not a whole lot of games going on in the Southeast that kind of got pushed back yesterday. So all those games are going to be played over the weekend, today and tomorrow. The ACC gets going with a big matchup between NC State and Clemson. That's going to be a fun game to watch. You've got Duke and Syracuse squaring off. You've got ULL playing Oklahoma today. You've got Wichita State and Missouri. That's a game that you probably want to pay attention to. A lot of offense. Missouri playing really good ball. Can't wait for them to get into SEC play as well. They're kind of getting that stuff tuned up, ready to go. You've got a Notre Dame against a Virginia Tech. Does Virginia Tech's offense sort of match their defense as far as playing against a Notre Dame team that is scrappy, probably not going to give up too many runs to Notre Dame offensively, but can they score some runs? So we'll see there. There's a couple of games that, I don't know if it'll catch the eye of too many people, but for me, I like it. I like to see a Kentucky team play. There's a big matchup again with Alabama and Arizona. They get going. You got another matchup between Georgia and California. So there's a lot of good action. Probably the best game of the weekend is going to be that Georgia-Stanford game. That's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Big-time matchup there. Florida State finally does, take a little bit of a break because of this weekend's cancellations up there in Oregon. So those games that you guys were hoping to see, Florida State and Oregon or Florida State and Washington, those games have been canceled. I did hear that Florida State will be going to Eugene next year to make sure they get that matchup in. So big-time matchup. You probably have to wait till next year. So with that being said, man, don't forget, please go check out the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League. If you're a softball player or if you're just a fan, an enthusiast that wants to go see some college ball, there's going to be a lot of top talent, about 6 teams over about a month period. We'll be playing like a league fashion, if you will. A lot of stuff going on. More details will be coming out here in the future. I'm going to have Wayne Ritchie on here pretty soon to kind of just reiterate some of the stuff we had talked about before, and we'll find out if anything has changed or any developments and stuff like that. Keep you guys informed on that. So Fayetteville, North Carolina, the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League is coming, and I hope to see you guys out there as well as some of these softball players. All right, as always, if you know somebody that likes podcasts and they haven't found this one yet, make sure you share it with them. And if you share it with a friend, be sure you tell them you love them.